everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Scorebook Stories. Man, do we have some stuff to discuss today? We got history in the making, and a lot of people are slumping. The slumps are unbelievable. Post All-Star game slumps are just everywhere, literally everywhere. But we are going to dive in right away to all of these things. Hopefully, they can get things turned around. Since the All-Star game, a good amount of superstars have been hitting well below the Mendoza line or right at it. It's noticeable. It is a big noticeable problem right now. James Wood has been hitting 149, Eugenio Suarez 164, Francisco Lindor 176, Juan Soto 186, Vinny Pasquantino 189, Jazz Chisholm Jr. 197, Cal Raleigh's hitting 200, Pete Crow Armstrong is not hitting all that well. This is a problem. This is a huge problem. Like we're right in the middle of a very important part of the year, and these slumps cannot happen, and they need to snap out of it quickly. These players that are going through these slumps need to get over it. They are going to be very vital to a lot of their organizations, as they're going to be playing every day. They're going to be in the lineup day in, day out, especially if a lot of these teams want to make playoff pushes, like the Yankees, the Mets, the Seattle Mariners, the Washington Nationals. They're kind of just stuck. I don't think they're really going to have a chance to make the playoffs, but James Wood hitting 150 is not something Nationals fans and the Nationals organization really want to see out of one of their top rookies right now. It's really not looking good. He needs to turn it around. He needs to find a way to figure it out. But a overall team that is blasted all over social media, all over sports news, baseball news, that is struggling is the New York Yankees. It's a problem. I don't know what's wrong with them. The Yankees sent Jake Bird to AAA. They just traded for him. This is turning out to be an absolutely horrible trade already for the New York Yankees. They sent Rock Riggio and Ben Shields, who were top 30 prospects in the Yankees organization, to the Rockies for a guy who threw 2 innings. 2 innings in a Yankee uniform. In a Yankee uniform, Jake Bird threw 2 innings over 3 games, allowed 6 runs on 4 hits, walking a bunch, striking out 4. He has only faced 12 batters since he was traded to New York. That's not good. That is not good at all. Like, that is a serious problem. The Yankees are really, really struggling right now to get things back on track, with Aaron Judge unable to play defense due to his injury. Now Aaron Boone has to decide how much money he wants to sit down on the bench, because you're either going to bench Judge because he's only going to DH, or you're going to bench Giancarlo Stanton, who is already only a DH. What are you doing? And you also have Ben Rice, who has been primarily a DH this entire year, and Ben Rice has been hitting the ball at unbelievably hard rates. You can't really afford to take his bat out of the lineup. His defense at first base is solid. He's an all right backup catcher as well, so he can be a reliable defensive player behind the plate. Ben Rice is not a guy that I think the Yankees can afford to sit on the bench right now, especially defensively. Like, I'm not even thinking offense anymore. Their offense obviously is sputtering a little bit, but the Yankees need to figure out what they're going to do defensively. Their defensive efficiency has been absolutely horrendous. Everyone knows it. Everyone has seen it. The highlights, the clips are endless of the errors, the poor defensive play, and the lack of successful pitching that they have had over this season, especially the last couple months. They started out the year very, very hot, played really well. They were doing really good. And then the errors just started to pile up very, very quickly. So what are we going to do with this Yankees lineup? If you want Stanton in the lineup, he's going to have to play outfield, which is not a great idea at all. I think he is a defensive liability at this point in his career. He doesn't run very well. He has very little range. And with Bellinger, Grisham, Dominguez, Rosario, they have a very reliable outfield right now. I don't think putting Giancarlo Stanton out there just to get his bat in the lineup is going to be successful unless Boone thinks that Giancarlo Stanton is going to go 4 for 4 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Like, I really don't think it's worth it at that point because his defensive reliability is so low. The Yankees need to be able to put the best defensive team on the field. Forget about how they're hitting. They need to prevent runs. They need to not commit errors. They need to make easy and simple plays. They need to prevent runs. The Yankees have always figured out a way to get at least one run across the board. Today against Houston, they absolutely did horrible. They still got one run across the board. The Yankees will figure it out, but the pitching needs to be on point and the defense needs to be stellar the rest of the way through this season. I don't know what it's going to take for the Yankees to really wake up and figure it out, but they stink right now, and it's not going well. 7MM Sports is your hub for all things Seven Mountains Media Sports. You can watch the latest of Sports Talk with Steve Jones episodes. You can find what station you can listen to your favorite Penn State sports team on, and you can even get live social media updates all the time. All of these things are available along with every single show produced by Seven Mountains Sports over at 7mmsports.com. Some trades that I have seen that are in a successful space right now is Josh Naylor. He's stolen more bases since going to Seattle than he stole all season long with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's playing good baseball. He's a reliable defensive first baseman, and he's getting on base and he's hitting the ball pretty well. Is it spectacular? No, it's not. I knew it wasn't going to be. He was going to do pretty much what he did in Arizona, maybe a little bit better, and he has. He definitely has. Harrison Bader is another guy that has been very productive and really solid for the Philadelphia Phillies since joining the roster at the trade deadline. He's hit a couple home runs already. He's getting on base. He's making reliable, efficient defensive plays. It's incredible, and it is awesome to see. And that is probably why the Phillies are in first place right now. And they've added Yohan Duran, who is absolutely killing it on the mound. In his first ever appearance in a Phillies uniform, it took him longer to get from the bullpen to the mound than his actual in-game time. That is what you want out of your closer in the MLB. However, there is some MLB positives this week to talk about, and that is that Jen Powel has made a history. She's a former softball star at Hofstra University and a 3-time all-conference selection as a catcher. She made her major league debut Saturday when she became the first woman to umpire in a regular season game, taking the field for game 1 of the doubleheader at first base and taking the game 2 was at third base. It was at third base between the Marlins and the Braves. Today, as of recording, she took the duties behind the plate. As of right now, that when this time of recording, it is in the middle of the game. Like, I believe it's in the 4th or 5th inning right now. So I'm not entirely sure how she is doing. I think she does pretty good. I've seen a couple clips of her behind the plate down in the minors, and she's a pretty fair umpire. Obviously, she misses a couple calls here and there, but that's just being an umpire. I got a feeling that her umpire scorecard, whenever that comes out, I follow that Twitter account. It is incredible. I like that they rate the umpires and keep track of how they do. It's pretty good. I like it. I got a feeling she may be a little bit of a larger strike zone for her first appearance behind the plate, but I think it's just a lot of nerves. She may just be trying to settle in and collect herself because this is a very big moment, and it's understandable if she's a little shaken up and a little stressed about what is happening today. And I completely understand. But either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what the final scorecard looks for her behind the plate. Hopefully, it is a lot more reliable than what Angel Hernandez was putting up. Either way, congratulations to Jen Powel. I hope you have a very long MLB umpire career because every fan knows that the MLB could use some really solid and reliable umpires. Well, that's pretty much all we really have to talk about today. Not a whole lot going on. This week was just a lot of confusion. We're still in that getting used to your new organization phase. I feel like a lot of teams that made a lot of these trades, they really morphed into a completely different team. So there's a lot going on, but it's just a weird time of the baseball season to really dive in and pick apart a bunch of stuff. Because like I said, we're in slump season. There's a lot of top superstars going through slumps. The Yankees still can't figure it out. And there are some positives. There are some negatives. We got to see once the middle of this month, end of this month, that's when things are really going to start to heat up about who's actually going to make the playoffs. Because right now there's a lot of teams that are just a solid half of a month away from being in the playoff picture right now. Stay up to date on everything going on in the sports world by heading over to 7 Mountain Sports on Facebook, 7 Mountain Sports on X, on Instagram. We are on all of your favorite platforms, and you do not want to miss out on a single thing going on here at 7 Mountain Sports. So Toronto right now has a lead over the entire AL East. They are 68-50. Boston is behind them by 3 games at 65-53. The Yankees are 62-55, 5.5 games back. Tampa Bay is 57-61, 11 games behind, and Baltimore rounds it out 14.5 games out of first place at 54-64. Or 53-64, sorry. In the Central, Detroit has the lead in the division, 67-51. Cleveland is in second at 61-55. They're 5 games back. Kansas City's 8.5 games back at 58-59. The Twins are 11 games out at 55-61, and the White Sox are pretty much out of it entirely this season, 24.5 games back at 42-75. Houston leads the West. Again, just another team that continues to win, but Seattle is right there, half a game back at 65-53 to Houston, 65-52. Texas is 5.5 games back, 60-58. The Angels are 9 games back, 56-61. The A's are 14 games out of the West at 52-67. Over in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies have the lead in the East, 67-49. They really have been starting to pull away with this division. The Mets are 4.5 games out at 63-54. The Marlins are in third. They're 10.5 games out of first place at 57-60. The Braves are 17.5 out, 50-67 record. And the Nationals are 21 games out of it. They're probably done for the season as well at 46-70. Over in the Central, the Brewers have the lead at 72-44. They're crushing it right now. The Cubs are 5 games out at 67-49. The Reds are 12 games out at 61-57. The Cardinals are 14 games out, 59-59. And the Pirates are 22 games away from winning the Central at 51-67. The Dodgers are leading the West, but the Padres are only 3 games behind them at 65-52. The Giants are 9 games out, 59-58. The Diamondbacks are 12 games out, 56-61. And the Rockies are 37.5 games out with a record of 30-86. Oh boy. I'm honestly a little nervous to see what the final record for the Colorado Rockies is going to be, because it's going to be ugly and it's not going to be very pretty. I don't. Warming Bernabeu is playing pretty awesome. Like, it's fun to watch him play, but the Rockies need to figure something out for next year, because this is just ugly, man. But either way, statistical leaders, Aaron Judge still has the lead in batting average with a 339. Jeremy Payne is behind him, hitting 320. Aranda's in third, batting 316. Jacob Wilson has a 312 batting average, and Freddie Freeman has a 305. When it comes to hits, Bo Bichette has he has 146 hits. Manny Machado has 134. Trey Turner has 134 as well. Luis Arias has 133, and Aaron Judge has 132. Home runs, Cal Raleigh has 45, but I saw on Twitter right before I started recording that he hit another one, I believe. So he's at 45 right now. Kyle Schwarber's at 41. Shohei Ohtani's at 40. Eugenio Suarez and Aaron Judge both are at 37. Again, these are all the stats and these are the standings as of the end of the final game on Sunday the 9th. Just to remind everybody, all of these stats and all of these standings are calculated, and I am giving them to you as the completion of every game before the day of recording, which is Sunday every single week. When we look at our pitchers, Paul Skeens has the lead in ERA with a 1.94, which is unreal. Garrett Crochet is next with a 2.24. Tarek Skubal has a 2.35. Christopher Sanchez has a 2.36. Matthew Boyd has a 2.45. In strikeouts, Tarek Skubal has the lead with 187. Garrett Crochet has 183. Zach Wheeler has 182. Logan Webb has 165. And Dylan Cease has 162. In saves out of the bullpen, Robert Suarez still in the lead with 32. Carlos Estevez, 29. Trevor McGill at 28, along with Josh Hader. And Andres Munoz rounds out the top 5 with 27. When we look at our storied pitcher and player of the week, we have Edward Cabrera taking it for the pitchers. 2 games started, 2 wins, 14 innings pitched, 48 total batters faced, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and the thing that gave it to him, 18 Ks. Unbelievable 2 performances for Edward Cabrera, 2 quality starts, great appearances for him. He is proving to be a relatively dominant pitcher for the Miami Marlins. I was thinking Christopher Sanchez. It was really close between the two, but the 18 Ks just really set it over the edge for Edward Cabrera. He did an unbelievable job in his 2 starts. Player of the week is going to JJ Bleday. 5 games played, 20 plate appearances, 11 hits, which makes him have a .550 batting average, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 6 runs, and 7 RBIs. Incredible week for JJ Bleday and Edward Cabrera to be the storied pitcher and player of the week. When we look forward, games to watch, I have the Cubs at the Blue Jays. That one is going to be interesting. The Blue Jays are looking to maintain their lead and their hold on first place in the AL East, and the Cubs are really going to try to snap out of whatever funk they're in and win games to get themselves back to first place in the National League Central. Padres, Giants, always going to be an incredible series. Whenever you see those two on the schedule, you got to tune in because they are right there in the NL West, and they both want to try to overtake the LA Dodgers. I think the Padres definitely have the better shot at doing so, especially after the moves made at the trade deadline. But still an intriguing series, and I'm looking forward to watching what goes down with those two teams. And the Braves at the Mets. The Braves, I think, are just looking for some positives out of the rest of this season. That's what I think they're looking for. The Mets have really been struggling. The Braves are towards the bottom of the division in 4th place. Mets are in 2nd. And the Mets need wins. They need wins, and they need them right now. They are struggling at the plate. They're not doing awful defensively, in my opinion, but they need to pick up wins. And a series against the Braves looks like a pretty solid series to try to get that done, especially in a very tight race with the Philadelphia Phillies. But we're going to see what happens. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Scorebook Stories. Make sure that you give us a follow over on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, and TikTok as well to stay up to date with everything going on in the sports world. I'm Alec. Enjoy the rest of your week and watch as much baseball as you possibly can.